Hello, good morning, good afternoon, or good evening, depending on where you're joining from. I hope you are excited to be here as much as I am. We're going to get started in a few minutes, just giving some time for other people to join. But in the meantime, please let's meet you. Introduce yourself using the chat feature. Just tell us your name and where you're joining from. While we just give it like another 2 minutes and then we're going to get started. So please let's meet. I would like to meet everyone that is joining now. Let's meet you, please. Let me stop sharing for a minute. Just say, okay, I can see Akpewe from Nigeria. Thanks for joining. I can see other people as well. Please just introduce yourself. Don't be shy. Just let's meet you and then we'll get started right away. Hi, Vera from Kenya. Nice to meet you. Ernest from Ghana. Nice to meet you as well. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Having trouble with my. Okay. Okay, let's get started in the interest of time so that we're also not punishing the people that made it here on time. My name is Uwem Ekanem. I am Regional Director here at Nexford University, and I'm going to be your co-host for this virtual tour. And joining me on this tour are my amiable colleagues, Jeanine Rabie, who is the Senior Application Specialist here at Nexford, and also Terese Dawn, who is the Admission Team Lead at Nexford University. So together we're going to give you a tour of what Nexford looks like. I will be giving you an overview of Nexford as well as our programs, and then I will hand over at some point to Terese to take you through the admission requirements, and then Jeanine will then take you through the Nextford experience so you can have a good sense of what it feels like to be a learner at Nextford. And towards the end of the session, we're going to have something really special, which is a session that allows you to interact one-on-one with someone who is currently a learner at Nexford University. So you're not going to just be hearing from us, you're going to also hear from someone who has already taken the journey that you are about to embark on. So I will encourage you as much as possible to start thinking about questions you would like to ask a learner at Nextford. If there are anything like you would like to know about, you don't want to hear that from us, you want to hear directly from someone who's already been there, please start putting your questions together. Additionally, the chat feature is going to be used all through the session. So if you have any questions, just use the chat button, ask your question, and the team back end will answer all your questions. Okay, let's get started. So, first about Nexford University. I know you are here because you've already interacted with Nexford in some way or form. So I'm not going to bore you with all the details about Nexford, but just to give you a bit of a background as to why Nexford even exists in the first place. So for those of you who maybe haven't interacted with Nexford before, Nexford is 100% online American university, right? And the mission behind Nexford really resides behind two ideas. The first one is Nexford really wanted to take American standard education to people who ordinarily can't access that level of education. If you know, before now, getting an MBA or a master's abroad is really expensive. Sometimes you even get the admission, but then you don't have the visa to go to these countries to go and study. We all know what's happening around the world now, where countries are closing their borders to foreigners and you can't really get in. So that's a problem. And so Nextford exists to solve that problem, taking an American level education to people really in the comfort of your homes or your offices. So that's the first idea. The second one is really wrapped around the concept of competency-based learning. And what that means is typically people go to school and they come out and all they know about the course that they studied is theory. An example is someone who studies computer engineering but doesn't know how to code, has never written a line of code before in their life, or someone who studies marketing but cannot run a marketing campaign because they just haven't done it before. So, Nextford Learning is pretty hands-on. It is designed to give you the skills that are in demand today, that employers are actually looking for today. And not just that you have this skill, but you can start applying those skills from day one. Actually, from week one of joining Nextford, you start learning things that you can apply directly. Then, in terms of accreditation, so what gives us the authority to do what we do? As I mentioned, we're an American university, so we are regulated and controlled and monitored by the US government and its educational system. So Nextford is accredited by the Distance Education Accreditation Commission, also called the DEAC, and licensed by the Higher Education Licensure Commission. And we are also recognized by the US Department of Education and the Council for Higher Education Accreditation. Additionally, Nexford University has received specialized accreditation for its MBA program through the International Accreditation Council for Business Education. So we will share the link on the chat right now that you can use to explore all our accreditation and just read up a bit more about them and what they mean for you. But essentially, what this means is you're getting an international degree that is recognized globally. In terms of the Nexford difference, so what stands Nexford out from all the other universities that you've probably been applying to? The first one, as I've mentioned, is we're licensed and accredited in the US. So you are sure of American standard. Everyone knows, like when it comes to America, there are no shortcuts. You're not bypassing rules and things like that. So we are always checked and monitored by the US government to make sure that we are doing things the way they should be done. So the second thing is future focused and competency based. So what that means, like I said before, is we are equipping you with skills that are in demand, that employers are looking for, not skills that were relevant in the 90s or in the early 2000s, or skills that were relevant even around the COVID period. It's skills that are relevant today that employers are looking for because we are always constantly updating our curriculum to meet current employability demands. Then the other difference with us is we have a stackable credential model, meaning you don't need to do like a full MBA if you don't want to do that at once. You can do mini MBAs and then you can stack them up. So you can do like a mini MBA for about 6 months, take some time off, come back and do another one for another 6 months, and then end up doing like three MBAs that mini MBAs that you can stack together and then have a complete MBA. Then we have learners from over 110 countries. So it's a very robust learning environment where you get to meet and interact with people from other countries, not just where you come from. and a very robust alumni community. That's one of the things we really use to brag about. We have a very thriving community. Just to give you an example, the community in Nigeria is so huge that they now have their own events. They plan their own trips together. Last year, they planned a summer trip to Qatar, and this year, they're already planning a trip together to Singapore. This is a community that, in fact, they marry, there's an intermarriage within the community, the business relationships going on within the community. So that's what you're going to be enjoying when you graduate from Nexford. Then also our monthly tuition payments are in USD or in Naira or in CDs or in whatever local currency you have. And the reason why we have a monthly tuition payment structure is because of our flexibility, the thinking behind flexible learning. If you are earning monthly and you want to be in school, you shouldn't have to pay for a whole year for your program before you start, which is what most other schools will require you to do. You shouldn't have to be paying per session because nobody earns salary once a year or once every 6 months. We all earn monthly. So the whole idea is to get you enrolled in school. As you're getting your salary, you're able to pay your tuition, and that way it's a lot more flexible for you. And then also, still in the spirit of flexibility, we have flexible learning. This is you can learn when you want, where you want. And I'll give you an example. For most other schools, you would have regimented course timelines. So, for example, if you need to be in class by 10 o'clock, you need to be in class by 10 because there's a lecture happening by 10, and there's another one happening by 12, and there's another one happening by 2. The problem with that is if you're working or you're doing something else with your life, you have a business, it is difficult for you to be in school and still carry on with your life because things are not done asynchronously, right? You have to be in class by 2 o'clock. So if you have a meeting by 2, something has to give. So with Nextford, that doesn't happen. You can choose when you want to study. If you want to study in the midnight, if you want to study during your break at work, if you want to study as soon as you get back from work, or early in the morning, or weekends, or Sundays, different learners have different ways that they study based on what works for them. Then the other thing is Nextford Learning is project-based. We don't do exams. So exams have traumatized a lot of people in the past. And sometimes it doesn't really make sense because you just cram for that exam, you go into the exam hall, you write everything that you crammed onto the exam sheet, and then when you come out, you forget everything that you even read. So what Nextford does instead is we do everything as a project. So you only get to do assignments through your courses. And these assignments are based on what you learned through the course of your study, and then you're just putting it in practice. So it's really just hands-on, and that's where the hands-on skill, comes into to bear. Like I said before, we are equipping you with skills that you can use from day one. So if you're learning a course and then you're given an assignment based on what you learned, then you're going to remember that because you've used that skill and you applied it to a project. Then another thing is our sessions and cohorts start every new month. So if you miss admission for, like you've missed for February cohort now because the February cohort just started, you don't need to wait for 6 months or 9 months or 12 months before you can start again. You can start as early as March, right? So if you miss February, you can start March. If you miss March, you can start in April. It starts on the first of every month. And then also we have personalized support. And this is something that a lot of Africans appreciate, especially if you went to a traditional, maybe federal university or even private university in some cases where you don't have access to your professor. Sometimes you are afraid to even ask questions in class because you don't want to be victimized. You don't want to be called out. You don't want to say the wrong thing. That doesn't exist here. So here you have personalized support. You will have like a career support mentor um, given to you that you can reach out to at any time if you have questions, You can reach out to them. You have access to schedule one-on-one sessions with your professor at any time. So if you don't understand something about the course and you want to discuss with your professor, you can do that. It's actually encouraged. The professors love it, as against what universities in Africa often do. And then also, we were the first university to mandate the use of AI in your coursework. And the reason why we do this is because AI has come to stay. So we're not running away from it. We're not like other universities that say, hey, you must not use AI. But obviously, you have to use it ethically. You have to cite your AI source. You have to tell us how you use AI. But we mandate you to use AI through your coursework. And this will definitely help you when you graduate because you already have those skills embedded in you and you can apply them to your work. So these are just a few of the things that make Nexford different from every other university. There are a lot more that I can't even get into now. Now, in terms of our programs, we have degree programs, we have certificates, and then we have individual courses, and I will go into each of them. For our degree programs, we do have the Master of Business Administration. This is like our foremost program, our headline flagship program. And then if you do this, you can then specialize in artificial intelligence, you can specialize in sustainability, international business, cybersecurity, enabling e-commerce, fintech and blockchain, and then also healthcare management for those who are in the medical field. We also have an MBA in entrepreneurship, especially. So this is just dedicated to entrepreneurship. We also have an MBA in finance for those that have a finance background. Maybe you work in accounting, you work in the bank, or related fields. This would be relevant to you. And then we also just recently launched our Master of Science in Artificial Intelligence and Technology Management. It's been like a hot cake, and we've had a lot of people really, really interested in this program. We just launched it last month. And honestly, it's one of the most exciting things that we've launched in a while. And also we have a Master of Science in Data Analytics. So for our degree programs, if you do any of those programs, you can finish in as early as 9 months. If you have maybe your first degree is in a business background, but Terese will speak more about this when she talks about the admission requirement. But you can finish in as early as 9 months. But the standard duration is about 18 months, right? And the maximum duration is 23 months. So what this means is, again, I talked about flexibility. Flexibility touches everything at Nexford. The way you pay your fees, the way you attend classes, and how you pace yourself. So this means that if you want to finish in 9 months, you can finish in 9 months. It's really up to you. If you want to take your time and then maybe do one course in 2 months, then it will take you a bit longer. Maybe it'll take you about 20, over 20 months to finish. If you want to do like one course a month, or sometimes you lag and say, okay, I want to do one course for 2 months, it might take you the standard duration of 18 months. So it's really up to you how quickly you want to finish. Then also for undergraduate programs, we have the Bachelor of Business Administration. And when you do this, you can also specialize in entrepreneurship, in business analytics, in artificial intelligence, and also digital marketing. Again, with the self-pacing, there's flexible durations that it will take for you to finish this. So you can finish in as early as 24 months, which is just 2 years, or you can finish in 4 years, or you can finish in 72 months. It's really up to you. And then we also have our Associate of Applied Science and Business. So think about this like your diploma. So for this, the minimum is 18 months, the standard duration is 24 months, and then the maximum duration is 48 months. I'm just going to pause here again to remind you that you can ask questions using the chat button. Any questions you have, anything you're not clear about, ask the questions there. and then the team back end will respond to your questions. Additionally, we have a special segment at the end of the tour where you can ask questions to a current learner um, at Nexford. So if there's anything you're not clear about in terms of maybe like what it feels like to learn at Nexford or how admission works or anything, just think about anything that you would like to ask a learner, write those questions down. So when we get to that segment, you will have the opportunity to ask the questions. So for our certificate programs, we have a mini MBA. I had talked about the stackable models earlier, where you can do mini MBAs, and then end of the day, you can stack them together to have a full MBA. So the minimum duration for this is 4 months. Standard duration is 6 months, and then maximum duration is 9 months. Now, when we say standard duration, it means that most people finish around that time, right? That's just like the average duration that most people take to finish. Then we have a career pathway in operations management and also professional sales. So again, the name is very self-descriptive. So career pathway means these programs prepare you for a specific career. If you're trying to get into sales and you don't even know where to start, or you don't have the certification to get into professional sales, this is the program for you. Or you're trying to get into operations and you don't have any experience in operations, you don't have any certification in operations, this pathway program is also for you. Um, then also we have a partnership with a school called Constructor University in Germany. This is for people who say, okay, I would like to also have a physical campus experience. So remember I said that Nexford as a university is 100% online. So that's our model because we want to take it to you in the comfort of your home or your offices and for you to have the flexibility to study and graduate. But some people say, hey, I would like to have a mix of both. So we have a partnership with this university where you can start at Nexford and then midway through your program, you can then transfer credits to Constructor University in Germany and then finish your program there. But these are the programs that you'll be able to do at Constructor if you start at Nexford. You can do MS in data engineering. MS means masters in data science for society and business, and also a bachelor's degree in international business administration. We'll share the link to a website page where you can read more about the partnership and how you can take advantage of it. We also have a partnership with the San Francisco Bay University. This is a very recent partnership. We'll also share a link to it so you can read more about it as well. I don't want to dwell too much here in the interest of time. Um, then in terms of what Nextford really offers, really big on connecting you with your career. Like I said before, it is not a school that you come to just because you want to get a certificate. I know that a lot of times people go to school just because they want to tick a box. I have an MBA, I have a master's degree, I have a BA, and you don't really care about the skills that you are acquiring in the course of getting that degree. So, but like I said, Nexford is different. So when you graduate at Nexford, some of the skills that you can be sure you would have, whether you want to or not, are things like business management, leadership, market analysis, AI, machine learning, problem solving, critical thinking, communication, negotiation. These are all skills that employers are actively looking for in the candidates they're trying to employ. So we didn't just come up with these things. Nextford curriculum is based off interactions with all the top global employers in the world. So the Googles, the Amazons, the Apple, think about Microsoft, all the top companies in the world. We have met and sat with them and asked them, what do you really want? What are you really looking for in employers? Both technical skills and soft skills And this is what informs the curriculum that we have. So these are some of the skills that you will be built up with at Nexford, regardless of the program that you take. In terms of scholarship, because I mean, this is something that comes up a lot when we have this virtual tours. People are always asking, how can I get scholarship? Even though I would say Nexford is probably the most affordable university you can go to get a master's degree on an MBA. I mean, it's priced at, I mean, depending on your market, between $280 to $300 a month. And most other universities would bill you a lot more than that. People pay up to $50,000, $30,000, $80,000 to get an MBA. But still, people always want scholarships, which is fine. So we do offer scholarships, but it's on a first come, first served basis because we can't give scholarship to everyone. So it is a limited pool and you would have to apply for it. We're also going to share this link in the chat. So if you want to apply for scholarship when you're applying, please use that link and apply. And on that note, I'm going to pass it on now to Terese, who will then take you through the admission requirements.
All right, thank you for that. Yeah. Hi, everyone. Good morning, good afternoon, or good evening. Again, my name is Terese, and I'm the admission team lead here at Nexford. Today, I'll be walking you through our admission requirements, specifically our general entry criteria, as well as our program-specific requirements. To start, at Nexford, we have four major documents that learners have to submit, specifically a digital copy of a government-issued ID, your passport style photo, your proof of graduation or completion, and proof of English language proficiency, of course, aside from paying the application fee. Now, for the government issued ID, this must have the following: your photo, full name, and date of birth. So, some of the IDs that we accept include your valid passport, driver's license, voter's card, as well as your national ID. Now, if your ID has an expiry date, make sure that it is valid upon submission. Right? Second is your passport style photo or your headshot. This must, of course, be professional looking and clear, as we will have to check this photo against the photo on your government ID as part of our identity verification process. Second, your proof of graduation or completion. This depends on the program level you're applying for. At the undergraduate level, this pertains to our career pathway certificates and undergraduate degree programs like the BBA and AAS. On the other hand, for the graduate level programs, this pertains to our mini MBA certificate and master's degree programs. Now, for our undergraduate applicants, the minimum requirement is your high school credential. This depends on the country you completed your secondary school. So for most West African countries, what we require is your national examination result. You must meet our minimum requirement depending on the exam that you took. So I see that we have some attendees from Nigeria. What we need is your West African Senior School Certificate of Education. The minimum requirement are credit passes or C6 or higher in 5 subjects, including math and English. If you took the test twice or more than one time, you can submit both certificates and we'll have to review if you meet our minimum requirement. For other attendees, I see that we also have those from Ghana. We have a different requirement here. For Ghana, we require credit passes or C6 for both your elective and core subjects. And then I saw we have one from Kenya. What we need is your KCSE or Kenya Certificate of Secondary Education. What we need is a minimum mean grade of C plus in all subjects, including math and English. Okay, so some applicants may have taken international tests like the IGCSE or the International General Certificate of Secondary Education because they underwent an international curriculum back in high school. So for those who took this exam, what we require is a grade of C in 5 subjects, and this must include math and English. Now, some may have completed higher or post secondary credentials such as diploma or the national diploma in Nigeria. If you hold this credential, you may also use this to apply for our undergraduate programs, depending on the program or the credential that you took, you may be qualified for transfer credit. But take note that since you completed this outside the US, we may require other documents such as an evaluation report. If you are interested in this, feel free to let your application specialists know, or you can mention this to the admissions team. So our registrar's office can provide more details on how to apply for transfer credit. Now, for our graduate level programs, the minimum requirement is a bachelor's degree or an equivalent credential. For Nigerian applicants, if you completed a higher national diploma, you may qualify if you submit both your OND and HND credentials, because combining both, these are equivalent or comparable to a US bachelor's degree, which is our minimum requirement. Now, if you hold a higher credential, such as a master's degree, postgraduate diploma, and so on, you may also submit this. All right. And lastly is the proof of English language proficiency. Now, we use electronic databases to verify this. So for some applicants, you may not be required to submit this document anymore if we're able to verify that the language of instruction in your school was English, or in your country, if we're able to verify that throughout secondary or tertiary level, the language of instruction in that specific country is English, we do not require this document. However, if you did not provide any proof of graduation or we cannot verify this information, then you'll have to submit this document. There are two options for learners to satisfy this. One is to secure an official letter from their previous institution attesting that the medium of instruction during their studies is English. Second, they can take any of our acceptable English proficiency tests. This includes the IELTS, TOEFL, Pearson Test of English, and the Duolingo English test, to name a few. All right. And lastly, of course, is your application fee. Now, there may be some supporting documents that we may need depending on the documents that you provide. For example, if we notice any discrepancies in your name or personal information like your date of birth, you may be required to submit a different ID, a marriage certificate, or an affidavit. But no worries, we will be supporting you throughout this process. Now, aside from our general entry requirements, we also have specific requirements for our master's degree programs. So these are for our MBA in finance, MSDA, and MSAI. So for full acceptance to our Master of Business Administration program, what we require is a business-related degree. So if you hold a degree in marketing, accounting, then you'll be fully accepted to the MBA program. Otherwise, you'll have to complete one foundation course, which is Business Fundamentals, to help you prepare for the core MBA program. So this is a prerequisite course for those who do not have a background in business, right? So for the MBA in finance, this is quite similar. So if you hold a degree in a business accounting or finance related field, you'll be directly accepted to the MBAF program. Otherwise, you'll have to take one foundation course. Second, for the Master of Science in Data Analytics, what we require is a business-related degree with a statistics course. If you do not hold this, you'll have to complete two foundation courses, Business Fundamentals and Statistics. However, there are scenarios where we waive one of the two courses. For example, if you hold a statistics degree, then you don't have to take the statistics course. You'll only have to complete business fundamentals. On the other hand, if you hold a business-related degree but did not complete any statistics course, then you'll have to take the statistics foundation course before you transition to the MSDA program. Lastly, for the MSAI, we require a degree related in business or tech. So if you hold a degree in computer science, accounting, and so on, then you'll be fully accepted to the MSAI program. Otherwise, you'll have to take foundations in digital transformation. Now, for the MBA in entrepreneurship, we do not have any program specific requirement. As long as you meet the minimum criteria, which is at least a bachelor's degree, then you will be fully accepted to the program. So these are our program-specific requirements. If you have any questions, or if you feel like you already have extensive work experience in business or in technology, feel free to submit other supporting documents such as certificates or your resume for us to review to see if you are fully qualified for our degree programs. For any questions regarding our admission requirements, feel free to contact us at admissions@nexford.edu. And that's it for the admission requirements. I'll be handing it over to Jeanine for the virtual tour.
Thank you, Terese. I really appreciate that. So before I start with the virtual tour, I just quickly want to introduce myself. My name is Jeanine, and I'm a senior application specialist at Nexford University. I've been with Nexford for just over 4 years now, which is quite crazy. And I had the opportunity to speak with aspiring learners just like yourself over the years that I've been with Nexford. So I'm really excited to show you what Nexford is about and how our learning platform works, as well as why we are currently a next generation university, not just focusing on today, but also focusing on the future. So I'm going to start sharing my screen.
Okay, let me stop sharing, Jeanine.
Okay, there we go. Thank you. So first up is just our virtual tour. This video does have sound, so I'm going to play the video for you. So I'm going to keep the chat open just in case to see if there's any problems with the audio, but I will start playing the video now. And if there's any issues, please let me know in the chat.
Welcome to Nexford University, where learning transcends walls and borders. Join us for a virtual tour of the Nexford learning experience. With Nexford's 100% online and flexible approach, you can gain new skills and earn credentials at your own pace, accelerating your professional growth. Your journey begins with MyNXU, your personal command center, connecting you to everything you need to succeed. In the program area, you can view your entire learning path, track your progress and scores, and access your online courses. Simply tap on any course to explore its in-depth details, including what you'll learn, the skills you'll gain, and to launch your next learning adventure. Let's step into Canvas, your dynamic Nexford learning environment. Our courses are not only workplace relevant, but also designed to be engaging and interactive, with diverse multimedia content that brings learning to life. Each course is organized into modules that align with specific learning outcomes. You'll encounter a mix of videos, downloadable resources, and interactive exercises to keep your learning fresh and dynamic. Prepare for practical, real-world assignments that will build your skills and portfolio, showcasing your expertise to impress future employers. At Nexford, being online doesn't mean being alone. You can connect with instructors and classmates in live classes, receive one-on-one support from faculty, and participate in vibrant discussions through course boards and chats. Your learning is a shared experience, and your success is our priority. From day one, our new learner orientation gives you everything you need to thrive at Nexford. If you ever need extra help, we've got your back 24/7, offering tech support and personalized guidance. Our learner success team is always available for one-on-one advising sessions to help you unlock your full potential. Elevate your writing with our cutting-edge writing lab. Access expert guidance, hone your skills, and master the latest techniques for ethical AI use in research and content creation, ensuring your assignments stand out. Explore our extensive online library, packed with thousands of databases, articles, and publications, all accessible anytime at no additional cost. Nexford's commitment to your success extends beyond the classroom. Level up your skills with LinkedIn Learning, included in your Nexford tuition. Get unlimited access to thousands of expert-led courses to sharpen your skills, enhance your resume, and accelerate your career growth. Our career services team offers expert advising, online courses, and live sessions to help you land your dream job and further your professional growth. Get a head start on your career with Forge Job Simulations, included in your Nexford program. These immersive experiences let you practice real-world skills and build confidence, giving you a competitive edge in the job market. Ready to unlock your potential and achieve your goals? Explore our programs and enroll today. Your future starts at Nexford University.
All right, so I'll go to the next slide. This slide does not have sound, but I will be taking you through just digging a little bit deeper into what you've just seen and also the extra benefits you will get when you study with Nexford University. So at Nexford, we do really know that connection and engagement are really the key to online success and also learning. So that's why we've also introduced a powerful tool called Harmonize. It's basically an interactive discussion board and platform, which is designed to bring a global classroom to life. So with Harmonize, basically, it's integrated into some or not, if not all our courses, but so that is really where learners can go beyond basic text replies. So you can share video responses or even voice notes, images, presentations, and this is really helping to create a more dynamic and human way to connect with your peers and faculty from all over the world. It also supports both casual and low stake conversations, for instance, like course introductions, as well as more structured discussions that are all tied to your assignments. So for example, Harmonize will allow you for a role play scenario and multimedia based peer reviews. And this is really skills that is going to mirror the real world communication and collaboration as well. So for example, you might respond to a business scenario if you were presenting it to a client, and then you can get feedback from your classmates even before you can submit your assignment. So that's really, really helpful. And before you submit your final assignment to your professor. So this video is quite long. I'm going to skip to the next one. Pause. There we go. I'm going to skip to the next one. So this is just me explaining a little bit more about the extra benefits you get when you start with Nexford. So our goal is not just to get you ready for your next job. It's really set up for your whole career and also a return on investment that really pays off in the long term. So at the heart of our career support is something that we call Beyond NXU. So you can think of that as your all-in-one platform for your career success, learner and alumni services, and also building community. So it's where you're going to find different tools, connections, and that's all there to support you to actually move forward within your career. So we also do have a 24/7 AI career coach, and that's basically your personal career assistant. So it's always going to be on, and it's always ready to answer any of the questions that you might have, or let's say you need more direction, or you don't know where you're currently going with your career. That is perfect for you. And then we also do have an AI-powered resume and interview platform as well. So this is really there to help sharpen your most important job hunting tools, such as maybe practicing some different questions you might get in an interview, or how to set up your resume to really stand out against anybody else applying for the similar role or same role as you are. Then, as you've seen in the virtual tour, this is a question we do get a lot. Do we have internships? So what we do have is the virtual job simulations through Forage. And that really helps you build a real experience in a different field. So if you're looking to maybe change careers, or you may be fresh out of high school and don't have any work experience, Forage is there for you, and we do encourage every learner that joins Nexford to please make use of this, because this is really helpful. This is also something that you can put on your resume as well. We also do have one-on-one career coaching, so that's expert advising, and also then, as you've seen in the video, unlimited LinkedIn learning access, and this is all included in your tuition at no extra cost. And what's great about this is you can still choose to enroll this month and choose a start date up to 3 months from now, and all of this will be available on your Canvas learner management system from day one. So you don't even have to wait to start your program before you can start using the benefits that we've added into Canvas for you. So this is where Nexford is also really different. We don't wait until graduation until we talk about careers. We bake career readiness right into your learning journey, and it's right from the start. So it's not you're going to have to wait until you graduate before we do that. No, it's right there from the start. And also another thing that I will get into within the next 2 slides is our new AI policy. So at Nexford, AI isn't really optional. It's really a part of how you will learn and also how you'll work after graduation. AI is really getting so big, and it's really important for us that you know how to use it effectively. So every degree will include an AI-focused course, and completing them is a graduation requirement. So it's at no extra cost to you, but you'll be expected to actually use AI in your coursework, I'm going to show you in the next few slides how exactly we do that. And you won't just be graded on what you produce, but also on how effectively you've used AI to get to your specific final work or final assignment. So things like effective AI use is really how it's not really how well you can use AI, but also how well you can contextualize and synthesize what AI can actually give you. And the reason we've done that is because when you leave Nexford, we want you to be fluent in the skills that employers are actually demanding right now. So at Nexford also, like I've mentioned, you'll have access to LinkedIn Learning. I'm just going to touch a little bit more on that. So LinkedIn Learning is normally a paid for service, but that is something that is included in your program at no extra cost to you. So you'll have unlimited access to over 16,000 expert-led courses and videos that also covers a wide range of topics. And each completed course also provides you with a certificate of completion that you can show on either your LinkedIn profile or perhaps your resume. And it's really a great way to stand out to employers. And like I've mentioned before, it's typically a paid for feature, but this is included in your course at no extra cost. And why we've done that is because, let's say, for example, you're studying data analytics at Nexford, but you also have an interest in marketing. So you can take an additional LinkedIn Learning course and broaden your skill set even more than just your degree. And this is something you can, like I've mentioned, you can use this right from the start. When you get enrolled in Nexford, you can already upskill in different programs, not just what you are studying at Nexford University. And it also really helps broaden your skill set and boost your resume. So this is just an example of AI use in the classroom. So like I've mentioned before, there's no sound to this video. I just want to see that it's playing. But AI isn't really treated as an optional enhancement when it comes to Nexford University. It's really a core thread that runs throughout your learner journey, and it's embedded across every program to ensure practical real-world application. So it's going to be mandatory. So every learner is expected to use AI strategically. So I'm prefaces on the word strategically in your specific coursework, but also disclose how you've used it. So you're not just going to use AI, but you also need to disclose how you've used AI. So it's really it's a graduation requirement. So these courses come at no extra cost to you. Our grading model also basically now looks like not only at the quality of your work, but also how effectively you've managed to use AI and applied critical thinking to your work as well. So in short, we're making sure that every graduate leaves Nexford fluent in the skills or employers today want and actually expect as well. So whether you're going to be studying marketing or HR, finance, AI is going to be a part of the conversation right from the start. And as you've seen in the video, that was our marketing module, which introduced learners to the transformative role of AI and understanding customer behavior. So what does this activity actually do? It encourages learners to reflect on the impact of AI, also within their own industry, and also apply insights to enhance, for instance, in this specific video, marketing effectiveness. So our learners were prompted to consider how AI can be leveraged to better understand different customer behaviors, or maybe optimize marketing campaigns, for instance, or optimize marketing campaigns through predictive analytics, but also improve customer engagement and satisfaction overall. So I'm just going to show you a short clip of the next one that we have, another example. So this is the last example I'm going to show you for the day. So this is an activity on e-commerce and chatbots, which helped our learners apply AI and ML concepts to real business challenges. So acting as an AI consultant, you'll create chatbot strategies, for example, for customer support or maybe order tracking, and also product recommendations, for instance. So you'll design user scenarios, develop integration plans, and evaluate how these solutions impact customer experience and business goals, and in a global aspect as well. So this really mirrors professional problem solving. And this is where you're going to, for instance, analyze bottlenecks or propose AI solutions and present impactful implementation plans, ensuring you're not just job ready, but also innovation ready as well. So this video is a little bit long. I'm going to skip to the last video I'll be sharing with you today. It's just another example of how you'll be graded with AI. Okay. Go. So Nexford really fosters critical thinking and also by challenging learners to evaluate and strategically apply AI. So in Module 5 of our professional communication course, learners are asked to use an AI tool of their choice and to rewrite a pitch that they've originally created themselves. They then have to compare both versions and also analyze the wording, the tone, the different impact and accuracy as well. So the goal is not just to use AI, but also to think critically about the strengths of AI as well as the limitations of AI in real world communication. And this also helps to encourage thoughtful and responsible use of AI within your work. So each assignment does include a grading rubric detailing what is needed to achieve the highest marks. So with analysis and critical thinking as a key criterion, the rubric really emphasizes on the importance of a reflective AI approach and using AI overall. So it's not something that is just like I've mentioned before, it's going to be embedded in your programs from day one. And this is really to encourage the way how we use AI today. And it's not for us to have AI take over, but how can AI really enhance the work that we produce? So that is all from my side for today. I'm going to give it back to Uwem, and then we can go on to the questions. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Jeanine. So we are coming to the end of the session, and we just have that special segment that I talked about earlier left. So I hope by now that you've put your questions together before I introduce our very special learner who has volunteered her time to just speak with you and answer some of the questions that you might have. So without further ado, I'm going to introduce Mariam. I'm just welcome her. Mariam, you can turn on your video if that's convenient for you. Um, there you go. Hi, Mariam.
Hi, hi everyone.
Afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Where are you joining us from?
I'm from Nigeria, Lagos, Nigeria.
From Lagos, Nigeria. Okay,
Yes,
fantastic. All right, so while I'm waiting for other people to send in their questions, I am just going to go ahead and ask you some questions myself, um,
okay,
just to set the tone. So
okay.
just tell us when you started at Nexford. So when did you join, and what led to that decision for you? And the reason why I'm asking this is because when people are trying to get into a new school, typically they would consider different options. You don't just say,
Mhm.
oh, this is the school I'm going to, except maybe someone has spoken about that school very strongly. So ultimately, what led you to say it is Nexford that I want to be at?
Thank you, thank you. Good afternoon, everyone. Again, I'm Osa. Thank you for that question. Um, my first degree is a bachelor's degree, of course, and it's in a traditional university here in Nigeria. So I wanted another degree, but it's been very difficult, but because I wanted something that can fit into my life, my personal life and my work life. So it took me a while to get one, and then some tuition fees can be very expensive. Paying the lump sum all at once can be very expensive. So because of that, it took me a while, and then my sister told me about it. At first, I was like, I'm not sure. I don't. But I did my own research on it. I was like, wow, okay, maybe this is it. And I started last year, July, June, July, yes, around then. And ever since then, it has been very interesting. Yeah, it has been very interesting. The cost of the school fees, affordable, the fact that it's structured that you have to pay every month, it makes it a bit flexible, very flexible. The pace of learning, meeting other learners from different parts of the world makes it very rich and having very easy access to my professors too. So all of that up till this point has been very, very, very interesting, and I love it. So. Yes,
Thanks
to
so
answer your
much,
question.
Mariam. I'm happy that I
Thank
didn't ask
you.
you to say that. So you're saying it from the heart, and I can feel
Yes,
it. Okay, so something else, Miriam. I know that, I mean, it's one thing for someone who is already in the school or who has gone through the school to tell you about the school like your sister did. But it's another thing when you actually get in and experience it for yourself. So
Yeah.
since you joined Nextford, what has been like the one thing or maybe two things that have really stood out to you that in an unexpected way? So maybe something that you didn't experience before in your traditional university, or you didn't even anticipate, in that would be part of your experience, but it's been pleasantly surprising for you. What has that been?
Okay. It has been it has been very practical and very engaging, especially with my professors. We all know how traditional universities in Nigeria and how professors can be. Sometimes they can maybe they're not in school, they're difficult to reach, but you can easily reach your professors and they answer you as quickly as they get your message. You do your assignments and they send you feedback on your assignment. That helps very well. So you know how to structure your next assignment and how to, time management too helps a lot. Assignment courses have deadlines, so it helped me work on my time management very well. Yeah, so answer your question, I think that for now, yeah, that's it to answer your question.
Interesting, interesting.
Yeah.
And what has been like? I know you just barely you've not gotten to a year. You've just barely a
Yeah.
few months in.
Yeah.
But I said earlier that at Nextford we brag about teaching people hands-on skills that they can start applying from like week one of studying. So, what are the skills that you think you've already picked? I know you mentioned time management, even though you didn't intend to mention that as a skill, but that looks like one of the skills that you picked up. So, what are the skills would you say like you've learned in the past couple of months that you've been able to apply to your job or to your business after you joined Nextford?
Okay, thank you so much for that question. Like you said, time management is very good for someone like me. That really helps me. It also helped me build my communication skills. It helped me with strategic planning, critical. It helped my critical thinking very well because most of the assignments are not just I don't know the word to use, but they are not just robotic assignments. They're assignments that helps you that you can relate with your personal life, your work, and so it's very engaging and it helped with good communication. It helped my communication very well. It helped me more with critical thinking. It helped me also to meet different people from different parts of the world and you know yeah, so that's
Okay. I'm going to
yeah.
ask you one more question before I go to the audience. And
Okay.
please, again, think about any questions you have for Miriam. And I'm going to open the floor very soon. Um, so Miriam, we've talked about like not doing exams at Nexford, and I know that with traditional universities, that's like one thing that traumatizes people the most. I remember speaking with a learner in Ghana, and he was telling me that in their university at the time, during exam period, they will bring an ambulance to the campus because someone will always faint from from exam anxiety. So
Uh,
it's a bit of a culture shock coming to a university that doesn't prioritize exam. I mean, you get to do a proctored exam every once
right.
in a while, but for the most part, you're just doing your assignments and focusing on your project. How has that really helped you, like that difference?
Okay, so exams it can be very tense. You be very tense, you know what to write, you know the answers. It's just the whole thought behind it. It can be very tense, but the way Nextford do theirs, how it's very engaging, how it's very engaging. It's it's not really like I would not, it's not an exam at Nextford. It's more like you are engaging, more
Yeah,
like you're engaging
you're
with your work
practicing
life.
you're
Yeah, with your
practicing
work life.
what you've learned. Yeah.
Exactly. With
So
your
it's
work
like,
life, your business life. Yeah.
yeah.
I would go further. There are assignments where they would ask you, using a company you have or a company you have
Mm,
worked on, how do you think you can relate X, Y, Z to this? So that
mm.
helps you think critically. So you're not under duress and they're not asking you questions from thin air or textbook questions. That's the word I'm looking for. They're not asking you textbook questions. So it has been very interesting. And the other day I asked one of the administrators if there was a PhD program. Hopefully there's a PhD program coming on. I will be very happy because I love it. It's very flexible. I love it.
Awesome, awesome. Thanks for sharing that. So I'm going
Thank
to open
you.
the floor now. Please, if you have any question, just raise your hand and we will invite you to ask your question. I can see a lot of people here. So, and I expect that at least one or two people will have questions for Mariam before we wrap up. So
Uwem,
let me
we do
what's
have a
your
question in the Q&A section for Miriam.
oh there is? Okay, let me look at that. Okay, so Akpewe James is asking Mariam, how is the learning and grading experience like? How rigorous is it in terms of stretching one's mental capacity? Is there a capstone project for the MBA programs, and how is it like? Mariam, did you get
Okay.
that?
Yes, I did.
Okay.
Yes, I did. But I would like to go over it one after the other. So I'm looking for the question so I can
Oh,
answer
it's in the
it.
Q&A. I can take it again. How is the learning and grading experience like? How
Okay.
rigorous is it? And in terms of
Okay.
stretching one's mental capacity,
Right.
is
Right.
there a capstone project for the MBA programs? And how is it like?
Okay. So if you have a very busy schedule like I do, you would love it. It's very you can fit it into your work life. You know, that's one. But you also have to be very disciplined. And Nexford offer the support that you need here at Nexford. Um, you have to structure your learning to be able to meet up with assignments deadline, so it's very flexible. I think to answer your question, if I understand the question properly, that's how best I can go.
Yeah, so Akpewe, I can also maybe share a bit more about the grading experience. And the other question you asked about capstone. Yes, there is a capstone project at Nexford is the
Okay.
last thing that you do as part of your MBA program. And as far as grading goes, I know that also people who studied I mean, I don't know about other African countries, how it is in Ghana or in Kenya, but I know in Nigeria, I've heard this from a couple of people who have studied in traditional universities in Nigeria say, I worked really hard on this course and I took this exam and I was given a poor grade that I don't think I deserved. Sometimes people feel like they deserve 100% score, and then your lecturer says, "No, 100 is for God, 90 is for me." So the best, the best grade you can get is 90. At Nextford, thankfully, you don't have to experience that. You will never get to experience that. Nextford is probably the only school that you would see your full 100 points, and then it will probably shock you, like, "Oh wow, I could get 100." And
Right.
I'm just going to share my screen briefly to take you through how the grading works. So you see what that looks like. So let me just share my screen. So Jeanine had already taken you through this. So this is your Canva. This is like the platform that you would use for learning for the most part. It's very detailed, it's like self-prompt. So you can just navigate it quite easily. You can see here, you see the home announcements. So this is where like your professor would post announcements for the class, for any module that is starting. The syllabus is here. You can go through your modules. So for each course, you would have different modules. So think about the modules as subtopics within a course. And for each module, you would do an assignment. So you can also access your assignments here. You can check your grades here. You can chat with people here. So people here, this is a list of all the members of your class. So if you want to interact with anyone in your class, you can just, click on the name and then message them directly. This is what people use to, interact, ask questions if you're not clear about something as well. But just to go to the grades part, let me give you an example of an assignment. So here is an example of an upcoming assignment, module 5 assignment. Let me just open that up. So it gives you an overview of the assignment. So here it says the business plan outline. That's what the assignment is supposed to be about. It gives you a description of the assignment. It gives you instructions for the assignment. And most importantly, so you can see here, instructions are very detailed. You can see like step one, what you're required to do, step two, step three, and then the submission criteria. These are all things that you have to refer to that would help you get the maximum points for that particular assignment. But most importantly is the rubric. This is what guides you in terms of what you need to do to get your full marks. It is very detailed. And again, in most other schools, you don't get to see this. So there's no guidance in terms of what you need to do to get your full marks. Like Mariam mentioned earlier, she does her assignments, sends it to the professor. It is graded with comments that give her insights as to what she did well with that assignment or what she could have improved on. So for subsequent assignments, she can take that feedback and improve on it. But you can see here that there are categories for ratings. So this criteria, for example, business plan outline to get the maximum points, which is 18.34 points for this particular criteria. All major sections are thoroughly and thoughtfully completed. Content is clear, strategic, and realistic. Innovation idea is well integrated across sections. If you do all of this, you will get the full marks for that criteria. But if you then just do this, for example, I'm going to the minimum grade point here. It says outline is incomplete. So if, for example, you were asked to give 5 outlines as an example, and you only gave 3, then your outline is incomplete. Or if it's off topic, or responses are superficial or missing key business planning elements, then you will score the lowest point. So everything here is really clearly stated. The other criteria, strategic thinking and analysis, reflection and advocacy strategy, it is different per course. So this is not going to be the same across all your modules or all your assignments. For each particular assignment, you will have a rubric that guides you on what to do to gain the maximum point for that assignment. As I mentioned before, Nexford mandates you to use AI. You can see here, you can get a maximum of 25 points for AI usage, but you have to disclose that you used AI and how you used AI. So the way you're able to disclose that gives you this maximum points. And you can see the AI form here, disclosure form that you can download and then just fill out, okay, what AI tools did you use? How do you use those tools? Just filling that form alone gives you 25 points. So it's pretty straightforward. And then once you're done, you just drag your assignment here, depending on the format. If it's a PDF document, a PowerPoint document, a Word document, all of those things will be stated in your assignment submission criteria. How many pages you should do. For example, this one says submit a 5 to 7 slide deck, excluding your title and references. So everything is really well stated. There's no ambiguity, there's no confusion at all. And it's quite easy. Once you're done, you drag here and then submit your assignment, and that's done. It gets graded within 24 to 48 hours, and then you have feedback from the professor as well. So I hope that helps answer your question, Akbei. Any more questions before we wrap up? Does anyone else have any other question? Okay. So in the absence of any other question, we've taken 9 additional minutes of your time and apologize for that. We'll give you the rest of the day back. Thank you so much for joining. I hope this session was as impactful for you as it was for us. I hope you've had enough information to take the decision you need to take to further your career and your education. So enjoy the rest of your afternoon and have a good weekend ahead. Bye, everyone.
Bye.